When my daughter was 5 or 6 years old, she was playing outside with her older siblings. Oh, yeah, children played outside. They played hopscotch and jump rope and hide and seek. And as long as she wasn't hiding where I couldn't see her, it was fine. She came running and crying into the house because she scraped her arm. It needed to be washed off, and though it didn't really need a Band-Aid, who could pass up that purple dinosaur one? The scrape was taken care of. I gave her a drink of juice and sent her on her way to join her siblings. But she didn't leave right away because she had an important question to ask. She was troubled about this abrasion on her arm and asked with much sincerity, "Mommy, do you know if anyone ever lived after something terrible like this happened to them?" I explained that I indeed knew other children who had terrible things like hers, and they are living and doing well. I gave her a couple examples of children she knew who fit that category. She pondered for a moment, and then she went back outside to continue her adventures. But I was so glad she came in, told me about her pain and fears, cried for herself, and asked the question about others. Those steps started her healing process. Years later, when we spoke about that incident, she told me even at that age, she learned a little bit about taking care of herself. Of course, at 5 or 6, she wasn't aware of how significant that day was, but what she did know was she was hurt and scared. She went to someone she trusted and told her about it. Her immediate needs were taken care of, and she learned that, yes, others she knew experienced very similar things. They lived through it, and they're doing well. I told you of that experience because I want to talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD very succinctly can be a flashback, nightmare, memory, feeling, a smell, psychological disturbances, and many more symptoms caused by a prior trauma in someone's life. That trauma can be something that happened to an individual directly or an occurrence that was witnessed by another. So many of us, prior to asking for help, who experienced PTSD, are often plagued with thinking and believing that the trauma is happening in the moment, and we have to run from it. Sometimes we feel guilty because of what we remember, or perhaps who we left behind. We didn't think we could talk with anyone about our suffering. We didn't think it was important enough to mention. We didn't think anyone would understand or care. Many of us wondered where our comrades were and if they made it, but we suffered in silence. Sadly, for many of us, the pain of keeping those secrets, irregardless of the enormity, too many times culminates in suicide. PTSD can be caused by fighting in a war, being bullied repeatedly, being sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually abused, being trapped in a situation where there's seemingly no way out. My experience is that I had to give myself enough time. I had to share my fears and pain. I needed someone to listen. I found a trauma therapist who led me to a group of my peers who had most of the same fears and pain as I. I allowed myself to listen to others and how they are living their lives, and I let them see me. I knew that a purple dinosaur Band-Aid wouldn't fix me, but by letting others see me, I found that I can not only live through all that post-trauma and the terrible stress of it, but I can heal and turn that disorder into a ray of hope for me and others who are in the same boat as I. It's a tough jaunt from all those pictures in your head and the sounds of that trauma and the feelings as if you're back there. But if we seek out others who have been there, who have been hurt as we have, who have the same symptoms and know they survived, we have a much better chance at being able to know we are here, we survived, and we have others who understand and validate us in our post-trauma. So I'm asking you, has anyone ever lived after something so terrible happened to them? I hope you know or are learning the answer to that for yourself. You are welcome to comment here, to share whatever you feel comfortable with, to watch and listen, or to email me at vsky, with an E on the end of it, 411@gmail.com. I'm really glad you're here. My hope is that you stay safe, seek healing, and know you are worth it. I love you all.